Hello everyone, my today's topic is limiting reagent. At first, you have to know the sense of limiting reagent. Let you want to make 3 cup tea, clear? And you know for 1 cup tea, you have need 1 cup milk plus 1 cup, 1 teaspoonful sugar, clear? 1 cup milk and 1 teaspoonful sugar, that gives 1 cup tea, but you need 3 cup tea, so the requirement of milk is 3 cup and the requirement of sugar is 3 teaspoonful, clear? But you have 1 cup milk and 3 teaspoonful sugar, so here 3 teaspoonful sugar can make 3 cup of tea, but here the amount of milk is less, so in this reaction the milk is the limiting reagent and the excess reagent is sugar, and what is the amount of excess reagent? That is equal to 3 teaspoonful minus 1 teaspoonful, that is equal to 2 teaspoonful, because here only 1 cup tea can make. Okay, now I talk about some condition of the limiting reagent problem. First condition, more than one reactant must be present. That means this reaction cannot be single reactant problem. Here more than one reactant must be present. As for example, this may be AA plus BB, which gives CC plus DD. So here more than one reactant A and B are take part in the reaction. Okay. The second condition, the amount of all reactant are mentioned. That means in this type of problem, limiting reagent problem, here the amount of A and the amount of B must be mentioned in the problem. Clear? Now I talk about the tricks to determine the limiting reagent problem. This is very important, and this is N divided by SC. That means number of mole of reactant divided by stoichiometric coefficient of the reactant. You have to determine the number of mole of reactant divided by stoichiometric coefficient of the reactant. Clear? Here reactants are A and B. So for A, that is equal to number of mole of A divided by stoichiometric coefficient of A, and for B reactant, that is NB divided by stoichiometric coefficient of B. Clear? Now if NA divided by A not equal to NB divided by B, then the problem is on the limiting reagent. If they are same, that is not the problem of limiting reagent. And here also an important point, which is the limiting reagent R dot R, L dot R determine the product. Okay. Now the question, how will you determine the limiting reagent? Let a reaction XX plus YY that gives AA plus BB. Here reactants are X and Y. You determine the number of mole of X divided by stoichiometric coefficient of X and number of mole of Y divided by stoichiometric coefficient of Y. If they are not equal, so this is the problem of limiting reagent. Now which one the limiting reagent? To determine the limiting reagent, you see the value of this and this. Which is less, this is the limiting reagent. Okay, if this, then X is the limiting reagent. Now I see this concept with real example. Here 10 gram hydrogen and 64 gram oxygen were filled in a steel vessel and explode. Find the amount of water produced. First you write the chemical reaction. What is the chemical reaction? Hydrogen react with O2 and produced H2O. Now balance the equation. 2 hydrogen plus O2 gives 2H2. Clear? This is the balance equation. Now you have to determine the problem is limiting reagent problem or not. Okay, to determine this, you calculate the number of mole and stoichiometric coefficient ratio. Clear? Now you determine the number of mole of hydrogen, that is N of hydrogen, that is equal to 10 divided by 2 equal to 5 mole. Clear? Number of mole of O2, that is equal to 64 divided by 32 equal to 2 mole. This is clear. Now for O2, number of mole of O2 divided by stoichiometric coefficient of O2, that equal to number of mole of O2, 2 mole. 2 divided by stoichiometric coefficient of O2 is 1 divided by 1, that is equal to 2. Now for H2, here number of mole of H2 divided by stoichiometric coefficient of H2, that is equal to 5, here 5 mole, 5 divided by stoichiometric coefficient 2, that is equal to 2.5. So here we get to different value, here 2 and this is the 2.5. So this problem is a limiting reagent problem. Now which one the limiting reagent? As the value of N of O2 divided by stoichiometric coefficient of O2 is less 2, so O2 is the limiting reagent. Clear? Now O2 determine the product. Here you see for O2 and H2, because H2 is the product. Now for this relation, N of O2 divided by stoichiometric coefficient of O2, that is equal to N of H2O divided by stoichiometric coefficient of H2O. Clear? N of O2, that is equal to 2 divided by stoichiometric coefficient of O2 equal to 1, that is equal to N of H2O divided by stoichiometric coefficient of H2 is 2. Okay. Now N of H2 equal to 2 to the 4 mole. That means the amount of H2 is 4 mole. So the right answer is 4 mole. Clear? Now see the second problem. When 22.4 liter of hydrogen is mixed with 11.2 liter of Cl2, which is at STP, the mole of HCl formed is equal to. Okay, first you write the equation. The equation is hydrogen react with Cl2 and produced HCl, and balance the equation, it is 2HCl. Clear? Now you have to determine the problem is limiting reagent problem or not. So to determine this, you have to determine the ratio of number of mole divided by stoichiometric coefficient. First, number of mole of hydrogen, that is equal to 22.4 liter divided by 22.4 liter, that is equal to 1 mole. Number of mole of Cl2, that is equal to Cl2 11.2 liter. So 11.2 liter divided by 22.4 liter, that is equal to 0.5 mole. So these two are the number of mole. Clear? Now you have to determine the number of mole of hydrogen divided by stoichiometric coefficient of hydrogen. Clear? This is 1 divided by 1 equal to 1. Number of mole of Cl2 divided by stoichiometric coefficient of Cl2. Here the stoichiometric coefficient 1, that is number of mole of Cl2 0.5 divided by 1, that is equal to 0.5. So these two values are different. So this problem is the limiting reagent problem. Clear? Okay. Now you have to determine the product. Here which one the limiting reagent? Here the Cl2, the value is less, so here the Cl2 is the limiting reagent and it determine the product. Okay. Now the number of mole of Cl2 divided by stoichiometric coefficient of Cl2, that is equal to, for the product of HCl, number of mole of HCl divided by stoichiometric coefficient of HCl. Okay. This value is 0.5 divided by stoichiometric coefficient 1, that is equal to N of HCl divided by stoichiometric coefficient equal to 2. Clear? So number of mole of HCl, that is equal to 1 mole. 1 mole HCl. Okay. So the right answer is 1 mole HCl. Clear? Let's see the next problem. Here 1.01 gram magnesium is burned with 0.56 gram O2 in a closed vessel. Which reactant is left in excess and how much? Here the question says the reactant is left excess. That means it is a limiting reagent problem. Okay. Now you first write the equation, that is magnesium react with O2 and produced magnesium oxide MgO, and balance the equation. 2 Mg gives 2 MgO. Okay. Now which one the limiting reagent? To determine this, first you determine the number of mole of magnesium, that is equal to 1 gram given divided by its molecular weight is 24. Clear? Number of mole of O2, that is equal to, I change the color, that is equal to 0.56 gram divided by 32. Clear? Okay. Now determine the number of mole of magnesium divided by stoichiometric coefficient of magnesium, that is equal to 1 divided by 24, that is the number of mole of magnesium here, divided by stoichiometric coefficient of magnesium is 2, that is 2. So that is equal to 0.02 something. Clear? Now the number of mole of O2 divided by stoichiometric coefficient of O2, that is equal to number of mole of O2 is here. So number of mole of O2, that means 0.56 divided by 32 whole divided by stoichiometric coefficient is 1. So that is equal to 0.01 something. Clear? So these two values 0.01 and 0.02 are different. So this is the problem of limiting reagent. Now which one the limiting reagent? This value is less, so here the limiting reagent is oxygen and it determine the product. Okay. And as it is the limiting reagent O2, it react completely. Clear? Now 1 mole O2 react with 2 mole magnesium. Okay, so 32 gram O2 react with 2 into 24 gram magnesium. So the O2, sorry, the weight of O2 is given 0.56 gram O2 react with 2 into 24 into 0.56 divided by 32, that is equal to 0.84 gram. So the magnesium react is 0.84 gram. So the excess of magnesium, the amount of excess magnesium, that is equal to, you supplied 1 gram magnesium and react 0.84 gram, that is equal to 0.16 gram. So here the excess reagent is magnesium. So which one is excess? Magnesium. And how much? 0.16 gram. Clear? So the right answer is option A, this. Okay. So this one, the very short video on limiting reagent. Next video on AMU, that means atomic mass unit. So practice the such type of problem and wait for the next video. Thank you.